First off, good morning, 早上好. Because my Chinese is 马马虎虎, I'm going to give this presentation in English. And if my English doesn't sound as fluent as the previous speakers, it must be due to jet lag. I'm Xiao from 17zuoye, also known as Homework Together. So we had this vision of creating an education platform that was interesting, interactive, intimate, and intelligent, that can be accessed by teachers, students, and parents anywhere in the world, wherever they are, whenever they want, whatever they want to access. That was in 2011, and 4.5 years later, we now have over 22 million registered students, over 10 million parents, and we've now become the largest online homework platform for K-12 schools in China. Every day, we have over 100 million questions being solved, and we are really excited as we gain more and more understanding of the students. So what have we discovered about the students? I'll share a few stories. I went to a third-tier city in Xiangtan, in Hunan province, in China. The reason I went there was because there was this girl who was speaking English every day for more than 3 hours. She practices a lot, but her pronunciation was terrible because we have this technology to assess her pronunciation. So I actually went to the city, I met this girl, and what I saw was the girl's parents were playing mahjong, which is a game that's been existing for over 1,000 years, every day. They play mahjong, and mahjong is a very noisy game. And this girl, I don't know why, but she really just wanted to learn. So our platform was the only way she could practice English. So without any teachers, without any teaching, without any even understanding of what she was speaking, she spent 3 hours every day learning English. Second story was from a second-tier city in China called Shenyang in Liaoning province. So there was this boy in Shenyang, and I went to visit his school, and he's really good at math and really good at English. So I asked him, why? Because Shenyang is not really a traditional city with very good education. He told me that his parents were grocers, and there was lots of bargaining happening in the markets. So he learned math through the bargaining, and he learned English by identifying all these objects in the grocery. But then he told me that he could actually speak Hebrew as well. And I was really, I was dumbfounded. And then he spoke some Hebrew to me, and I couldn't understand any of it. But he told me that he learned this Hebrew from Coursera and edX, some online platforms in the US. I also met this boy from the capital of China, Beijing. This boy was diagnosed with ADHD, 5 years ago. All his teachers and all his parents gave really negative feedback to this kid. And when I spoke to him, it was quite obvious that this boy was, he's really active. He jumps a lot and he talks a lot. But after using our platform for 3 years, even after a week, all the problems were gone. There was no problem with this kid. There was a problem in the education system. There was a problem in the education system in the first-tier cities, in the second-tier cities, in the third-tier cities, in the villages, in China, and everywhere in the world. If there's one word that I think has changed my destiny the most, the word I would choose out of all the words in the English language would be education. And if there are two words that have impacted human beings the most out of all the history of the human beings, the two words I would choose are education and technology. When my grandfather was born in 1915, and when he was my age, at the age of 30, that is 1945, he just finished having a war, the Second World War. When my father was born in 1955, and when he was my age, at 1985, he just finished his experience of the Cultural Revolution in China. And I'm 30 this year. I was born in 1985. Our country was no stranger to challenges, difficulties, and hard work. But I think we have advanced a little bit. Similarly, Israel is no stranger to challenges as well. I think we're very fortunate today to be even thinking of combining these two great words, education and technology, together to be solving the problems of the future. But I think maybe there's one thing that I want to share with you. So many people have asked us how we have managed to acquire so many users in such a short time. And I'd like to share another user story. So one day, one of our students was late for class. And his teacher asked him, why are you late today? And the student says, I was just following the sign in front of the school. And the teacher asks, what does the sign say? And the student says, it says, school ahead, go slow. So that was supposed to be a joke. But I think there was a lot of wisdom in that sign. The Chinese character wisdom is the Chinese character knowledge, which has something to do with the mouth, plus the character sun, which denotes time. And I think wisdom comes from time. This is an industry that takes time. I think there's a reason why the education system hasn't changed so much over the last 1,000 years. And there's a lot of wisdom in the way it's set up now. I came from a background in technology and I understand all about exponential growth, and I really appreciate Mooley's sharing. But I think there was also a lot of wisdom in how we pass down our wisdom to the next generations. There are things we can do disruptively, but there are also things we can do gradually. It takes 10 years to plant trees, but over 100 years to plant people or to grow people. And I think technology is not to make it faster, but is to make it slower and better. I understand that these challenges are not easy. Mooley mentioned that in China, millions and tens of millions of jobs will be cut because of the advancements in technology, and I totally agree. I think we have very interesting challenges of our time. But I'm also very confident. The English word for computers has something to do with computing. The French word for computers, I think, is informatique, which has something to do with information. But I like the Chinese interpretation of computers the best. The Chinese word is 电脑, which is literally electrical brain or artificial intelligence. And I think this translation, which was done something like 50 years ago, tells the 100 years future of the tools we need to use to solve this problem. We think using the intelligence in our brain and using the tools we have created using the intelligence, we can shorten we can lower the boundaries for the challenges we need to get our children to learn, and we can shorten the distance, the distance between us as well. Before, where a child is born and when a child is born has a lot of influence on the child's future. But I think in the future, we can solve these challenges so that a child born in Beijing and a child born in Tel Aviv can have equally and the best education and the resources in the world. I understand that our Chinese delegation visited a lot of monuments in this historical country. And there are lots of similar monuments in China and all over the world, reminding us of the victories we've had, but also reminding us of the horrible things we did to each other, some not too long ago. I think we're not even halfway from being uncivilized to being educated. Ever since Moses taught the 10 commandments to people, we realized there was a responsibility that as human beings, we should make ourselves better and make our race better. And as Moses led the people across the Red Sea, I think we need to lead our children across the Red Sea of homework as well. And this is the most important homework that we leave ourselves with. We can't gamble with our future. After all, what we do today is influencing our future. It is most important. If we screw up our kids in the classrooms today, then our boardrooms and situation rooms will be screwed up tomorrow. But I think if we work together, and if we persevere, and if we believe in it, and if we put in the time and the intelligence to solve this problem together, then we can complete this homework. We can make our children successful, and we can make ourselves successful. And I really look forward to doing this homework with all of you together. And I'd like to thank Yaki again for inviting me to this wonderful summit in this wonderful country. And I hope that we can have a lot more cooperations between China and Israel. And I hope that we can create a much better education, much better future for us. Thank you very much.